Welcome back to my channel, everyone. It's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of November 7th through to November 14th. This is a general reading for your sign, so whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So I am doing a focus on home and relationships this week with a full moon in Taurus this weekend. Of course, Taurus is the second house. It rules the throat, the jaw, speaking, singing, the arts, romance, possessions, values, and relationships. So what does Cancer need to know about home and relationships this week? Wow, a lot, like capital A, capital L-O-T of energy. We've got some what I consider, I know this is an oracle deck, but I do like sort of comparing or contrasting some of the cards here with the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. Some major themes here. So we have Libra. So we have Justice here. We have what I consider the Tower here. And of course we have what I consider the Chariot here. This could be considered the Lover's card if it was an exact comparison or contrast to the Rider-Waite. So I consider a lot of energy for you this week. I'm not saying it's negative energy, it's just a lot to contend with this week. So if you are feeling the full moon in Taurus energy around home and relationships, beauty and values and possessions this week, it could be that you're just being a little bit too hard on yourself about these themes, and maybe you just need to take a step back from what you might feel overwhelming this week, or you could just need to open up and share with somebody, especially if you are partnered up in a relationship, whether that's a peer or a romance. It would be a really nice week to open up with any fears or hesitations or concerns that you have this week. They'll be well received, but ultimately a sense of feeling as though things could be falling apart, even though I think it could be more of a worry than things actually falling apart for you. On the other hand, if something isn't working out the way you wanted it to, it's really just an opportunity for you to find exactly what you need to do and how you need to go about something. So if anything isn't working out or it hasn't worked out with regard to home and relationships, say the past couple of months or even during this week, you need to rest assured that you do have what it takes to get through this. And especially if you are saying, oh no, something like, oh no, not this again, or I don't have time for this, or I thought this was solved. It's really just an opportunity for you to say, oh, okay, well, now I have to try something different. What I was trying wasn't working, or ultimately just give up worry around these issues, okay? I'm going to suggest if you have any concerns, even if they're sort of tightly held or what we would call, say, even subconscious concerns or subconscious issues or worries or even regrets here, okay? You have to remember the never-ending story, which is your current position here, is this sense of it's hard to look at yourself, right? Which is a really sad state of affairs here for anyone this falls under, this sense of, how could I have, what will befall me for this? There is a sense of, paying some sort of karma. And then here with Chariot, the sense of, well, with round and round, what I consider a sacred spiral, but ultimately a sense of, being ready for something, being prepared for something. There's only so much preparation that people can do and to be ready for until something catches you off guard. And I sincerely think that's all this is here. Something is just catching you a little bit off guard, or even if it's something that's revisited, even if it's something that you said, oh no, not again, or, I should have seen this coming. You just want to say, oh, now I'll be better prepared, or that's a new phase or new area, or a new theme to something that I thought was gone. With regard to home and relationships here, that you really have an opportunity this week to finally put to rest, because you do have a lot of support and you do have a lot of internal balance and relational and domestic balance here. If you really were to look at the entire situation, okay? If you're looking at just one little theme or one little phase or one little blockade in your life, it could feel overwhelming. But if you look at the whole picture, you're going to see there's a great deal of opportunity and love and wellness and personal growth here. So let's look at why I would have said that as a snapshot for all these cards. Never-ending story is here representing you. This is where I see you just giving yourself a lot of grief. In terms of home and possessions, especially around values, habits, ideologies, things that you would have sort of planted a flag in the ground over, right? You would have put your foot down and you know, this is who you are and this is what you can expect from me. And that's a lovely way to go about things, frankly. You know, in everyday life, people want to know that they can rely on you and what to expect from you. But it feels like you've let yourself down here, or in the home, or in a relationship. Again, when I say relationships, I always include you. So whether perhaps all your external relationships are tickety-boo, and this is something that's going on really within yourself, due to a narrative that you've convinced yourself of, or even old patterns of behavior that you feel you're stuck in for some reason, and you're sincerely not. If that's what you feel is really tripping you up this week, there is an opportunity to get out of that. What you need to stop doing, if anything here this week, Cancer, is stop beating yourself up, okay? Especially if you feel for any reason that it's something that you should have seen coming, or you should have this week. You're going to just want to say, okay, that's nice, and put it away and say, now I'm going to deal with reality, and I'm going to make a mental note. I'm not going to let myself get tripped up anymore, and I'm going to face facts, or I'm going to make a decision, or, you know, really put your foot down about something else this week. And don't give yourself any grief about this, especially if it has to do with loving the self, which is what we talked about last week, or if it has to do with decisions that you have already made that you are feeling tormented by. Okay? If you're feeling tormented by anything that you've already done, Cancer, please stop tormenting yourself, including regret. Okay? Because it's not fair and it's not kind. And the bottom line is you wouldn't let anyone else do this to you. You wouldn't let anyone else put you down or talk down to you or say, you know, how could you, or how could you have been so whatever. The fact of the matter is that you understand what it is and what's been done, and you accept it, and now you grow and you learn from it, okay? But beating yourself up this week is not a kind thing to do. So please don't do that. Don't let anyone else do that. Here with Round and Round, here we're looking at a spiral dance. We're looking at getting out of something, getting away from something, moving away from perhaps a karmic lesson or something that you've already learned. It's in influencing the current position. So this is where I just see you sort of looking at past behavior. Like I said, Taurus is, you know, an earth sign. They're you know, tactile. This is something that, you know, experience really creates sort of a memory, right? This is where we're looking at muscle memory, especially if this is a trauma in your home and relationships. So, you know, if that was the case, there really might be a nice week for further forgiveness in the home or in relationships. Certainly, if this is internal to you, you want to begin in forgiveness exercises for yourself. You don't want to stay in a lower or a negative vibration around something you literally cannot undo, okay? A great time to do forgiveness work this week if that's the case for you, or if you feel like there's a karmic attraction or relation or a debt that hasn't been paid here, you want to release yourself from that as well. I want to draw your attention quickly to the mirror at the fairy's side and her body language, okay? She's tormented. So much so that she can't even look at her own reflection in the mirror. You really want to work away from that. You want to look at yourself. You want to love who you see in the mirror. You want to love your child self. You want to love yourself despite any problems or negativity or issues or mistakes that you've made, okay, regarding the home and family this week. It's because it's going to raise vibration, first of all, and it's going to help you move on from it. You have to forgive yourself, or you have to forgive someone else in your life here. Here with observer being the probable outcome, and then to be fair as an influence to observer, this is you taking a step back. It's really important for you to do this. If you've got an eagle eye on the whole situation here, as opposed to the mouse who looks at, scrutinizes everything up close and sort of picks and needles away at things. There's a time and a place for that. But this week, you don't need to pick a needle away. You need to take a step back. You want to look at the issue from a distance. You want to look at the whole picture, especially if you're trying to identify if you're a good or a bad person this week, or if you have good or bad energy or anything like that, or if someone can call you a good and bad person this week. You want to look at the whole picture here. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone can learn. But the most important thing is that you're learning from this, and you need to step away from that old energy. Two really quick symbols here. We have the egg, of course, if something is growing from within. Something is gestating here, something very beautiful and nourishing that is growing within. You just have to give it space. You have to give it love. You have to just nourish and be gentle, and it takes time. This is its own clock, okay? You can't rush this, but just be willing to do the right thing here and to take an eagle eye view. And of course, with the moon, the crescent moon, we really have this sense of wisdom. Of course, that's doubled up here in the To Be Fair card. One of the two major symbols here are the the balance scales, couldn't think of the word. And of course the owl, right, which is wisdom and knowledge, sitting no less on the crown of the queen here. So you really need to understand that things have worked out or played out as though it were a stage. Yes, it is a stage. We're all actors. This happens to be your story, but you can switch it up, okay? And especially if you have switched things up and you have been feeling confident and comfortable because you have done that, it's important to sort of do the soul work involved in that, right? You need to face yourself and forgive yourself. Here with soulmates, this is just general energy to all the cards here. This is really feeling affection and loved and beauty, feeling understood, understanding someone else. If this is internal to you, as I keep saying, it's really about understanding where you were, who you were at the time that you could have made some significant sacred spiral decisions here. Sacred spiral just really means what you're touching, the energy, your story and how it touches others and what other stories did to touch you. I know last week was about loving the self, and several weeks before that was about healing. I think it could be a good week around forgiveness, Cancer, okay? And really of yourself, right? Really need to work on forgiving yourself, letting old stuff go, divine guidance. It's a beautiful week to reach out for extra help this week, especially if you feel like you're alone or if you're suffering this week here with never-ending story, not being able to face yourself or feeling regret or even neglect here, holding something within, feeling stressed out here, even embarrassed, right? For something you did or said that has an ongoing effect, right? It would have had something that's ongoing, something that you feel you can't get away from. You want to look for divine guidance. You want to feel protected here. You want to feel as though you are right with the world now, and that past transgressions aren't supposed to drag you down. They say that the best way to say sorry is to change your behavior. Okay, so if that's making sense, really just turn in that direction and trust that you have what it takes. Here with camouflage, this is where I see being upset by something that you feel you aren't in control of, and you really are. So maybe this is what's going on here. Maybe you feel for some reason you're trapped in something, you can't let go of it. It's some sort of rat race, this camouflage, this, how do I get around it? I've been wearing this mask for so long. I've been fooling myself. I've been trying to get away from dealing with the heart or the root of the matter here. Really, healing is the way to go this week. Forgiveness work is the way to go this week. Especially if you find yourself crying or upset about something in particular that comes up over and over and over for you, or if you find yourself avoiding something that you need to get to the heart of the matter in order to move on and forgive yourself for that matter. It would be a really nice week to do that because it is value systems and, of course, home and relationships. Ultimately, be gentle with yourself this week, Cancer. We can't undo the past, but what we can do is we can make significant changes in our behavior so that we don't let ourselves or other people down again, and that we can be trusted from now on to do the right thing. So that is your reading for the week. I sincerely hope it was helpful for you. If you have a second, please comment below. I love hearing from you. And if you like the video, leave a like. If you like the content, you can subscribe to my channel today. It's free to do that. So until we meet in the next video, take excellent care of yourself. I will see you then. Bye for now.